Hi, it's Allison Bales with Energy Vanguard, and today I am going to be popping the top off of my heat pump water heater for the first time, I believe, and seeing what I can do to clean up the inside. We got a big mess. I can see the dirt on the fan here and inside the fan housing, and I'm sure the coil is also dirty because over the past year we've been remodeling our basement, and that process is done. Tomorrow's our final inspection. So I want to pop the top on this thing and get it cleaned up. Let's take a look. The first thing I want to do here, of course, is turn the power off. I've got my disconnect right here, so I'm just going to pull that. Power is turned off to our water heater now. I can safely work on it. Okay, so one of the first things I have to do is I have to pull the filter out. I just cleaned this in January, and you can see it's still pretty darn clean. Hardly anything's gotten on it since January. The dirt we found in January was, I think, mostly due to the drywall that we had installed in our basement remodel. So I've got the screws pulled out, I've got the wires disconnected. This is my little electrical junction box, and I'm just pulled that up so that the lid can come out and that'll stay in the hole because I don't want to disconnect from there. And let's take a look when we pop the top and see what that coil looks like. So pull this up. There is my heat pump water heater coil right there. So you can see there is definitely dirt on there. It's not terrible. That's not completely blocked. It's not anywhere near completely blocked, but it's definitely dirty enough that I want to get that clean. So let's take care of that cleaning right now. One thing I noticed here when I took this apart is that this is a little metal container junction box for the wiring, and you can see the corrosion on there. And that sits, you can see there's a little bit of rust right there on the foam insulation around the outside of the upper part where the heat pump is. All right, let me tell you what I'm going to do here. So first of all, there's the coil, and that needs to be cleaned. And for that, I've got this coil cleaner. I picked this up at Home Depot. It's not the professional Viper grade coil cleaner, but it's a mild one, which is what I want. And it should do an adequate job on this cleaning. The other thing I'm going to do is I've got my little shop vac. I'm going to use that to vacuum out as much as I can, see if I can pull some of that dust off of the foam and the other parts there, get that cleaned up as much as I can. That actually worked pretty well on the soft surfaces, the foam. It sucked up a lot of the dirt out of the foam. It didn't work on the hard surfaces around the fan and the coil, but I've got the coil cleaner for the coil, and I'll just wipe down the other hard surfaces. Okay, so I'm going to spray this on there. They say this is a self-rinsing cleaner, and what that means, if you spray it on a coil or surface that will get condensate on it, like this evaporator coil inside my heat pump water heater, or an air conditioner coil, evaporator coil, the condensate will rinse it off and you don't need to worry about rinsing it afterwards. I'm going to put a little bit of extra water on it just to make sure it all goes down. Also notice I'm wearing gloves, and this is the kind of cleaner that is, it's one of the milder ones, the green, so it's not the professional grade Viper style, but it should be good enough for this, I think. Let's see about that. All right, I'm back with a brush. Here's what the coil looks like now. I put the foaming cleaner on there. It foamed up. I brushed the fins there on the coil, and it's still sitting there doing its cleaning job. I also sprayed the other side of the coil over here and have not brushed that side yet. Here's something interesting. I've taken the fan blade off of the motor, and pulled it out for easier cleaning. This is the side that was facing to the outside of the water heater. And on the other side, notice it's a lot cleaner. Even though the air was blowing from inside the water heater to the outside, and we're looking at the outside here, it was the outside that got dirty. And my guess is that happened when the water heater was not operating. This fan was not turning, but the room was filled with dust, and maybe this fan blade was even a little bit cool because it had run previously, and so the drywall dust and whatever other dust is in there stuck to it and not to the other side. And good as new now. Got it all cleaned up. Looks like it just came out of the factory. All right, I have got the coil all clean now. I put my cleaner on there, I brushed it, I rinsed it with a little bit of water, and it is really clean. It's not clean like it was when it came from the factory, but it's clean enough to do the job now. So I'm happy about that. I've got the fan blade off. I'm about to put that back on and then close it up and turn it back on. Everything is done now. I've got the inside cleaned out. I've got the fan cleaned out. I've got the lid back on. The filter up here had a little bit of dirt on it. I cleaned that. I also, as you see in this picture right here, put some tape at the filter slot so that I don't have any bypass around that filter. And now I'm ready to turn it back on. So I'm going to give it power again. And starting up. It's 3 days later now. The water heater's all clean. It's put back together. It's working. The reason that I'm doing this 3 days later, though, instead of the first day that I did this, is I've had one little problem, and that was the condensate alarm keeps going off. It mostly has stopped, but it's still doing it a little bit right now. The problem seems to be the moisture sensor inside. I anticipated that and dried it off with a paper towel before I closed everything back up. In hindsight, I should have probably taken a blow dryer in there and really made sure it was all dry. I think that's the problem. There's probably a little bit of residual water around that thing. And I know it's draining though, because when I had it open and I was spraying water on the coil to rinse it off, I heard the water going through the condensate line right down here. And when I closed it up and I was getting the alarm, I took the condensate line out of the pipe right there and put it into this bucket. You can see that there's quite a bit of condensate in that bucket. So I do not have a clogged condensate line. I am getting the condensate coming out of the pipe. It's working just fine. It's a problem with the moisture sensor. I'm hoping it's not a permanent problem, but we'll see. So let's talk about the reason for all this. I had to open this up and clean the inside because I could see the dirt around here. The filter was really dirty when we cleaned that in January. You can see the picture of it right here. That was mainly drywall dust. Anytime you're doing any dust making activities in the house that could get into the water heater, you want to make sure to turn the water heater off and close it up so that that dust doesn't get in. Now on the intake side, which is on the top, the filter catches most of that. But we had quite a bit coming in this way too, and that would have happened when the water heater was off. When the water heater's running, air is blowing out of here, you're not going to get the dust going in when it's running, but it's not running all the time. So the dirt did get in there and we had to clean that up as well. So it cleaned up really nicely. Another thing about the dirt, if you are thinking of installing one of these and you live on a dirt road, do not put it in a carport or a garage. You want that inside in a protected space where it's not going to be subject to all that dirt floating around in the outdoor air when somebody drives by. And let's talk about filtration. The filter that comes with this is good at keeping it clean mostly. That catches a lot of the big stuff that's going to get on the coil and cause it to not work as efficiently as it should. But there's better ways to do it. As my friend Ben Knopp says, if you're moving air through something and filtering it to protect the equipment, why not upgrade your filtration to MERV 13 and also do a little bit of air cleaning at the same time? MERV 13 removes the fine particles and ultrafine particles that are small enough to get deep into your lungs and then into your bloodstream and create health problems. So put a MERV 13 on there, which is what I will be doing with this system pretty soon. I'm going to be I'm getting the parts and I'm going to be putting its duct on there with a filter housing, and I'll talk about that later. Finally, my last word here is one of caution. Before you do this, number one, read your warranty. Make sure you're not going to be voiding the warranty by opening this thing up and cleaning it out. Number two, make sure if you are going in that you turn off the electricity like I did. That was the first thing I did here. Number three, make sure you choose the right kind of cleaner. There are some very harsh coil cleaners out there. Make sure you get one that is made specifically for evaporator coils and you use it appropriately. Mine said don't let it get on wires, and you have to be careful with other materials as well, possibly. So be careful with what you do. Just spray it on the coil itself. It's made for cleaning metal surfaces. It can damage plastics and things, so don't let it get on anything else. Now, I expect many years of service. This thing has been going for me for 5 years now. I love my heat pump water heater, and I will not let it get this dirty again. I can guarantee you that, even if we do more remodeling, which we do have planned. So I will be taking much better care of it to make sure that that doesn't happen in the future. If you like this video, hit the like button for us. If you have comments or questions, put them in the comments below, and also subscribe to our channel if you want to see what else we're doing here. So thank you very much for watching. This is Allison Bales with Energy Vanguard.